We can all experience loneliness from time to time. I always personally, I have just the voices in my head that keep me company. But not everybody can be outgoing and friendly. A lot of people are shy. You don't even have to be a shy person to experience loneliness and seclusion and that. So there are ways for lonely adults to make friends. And what are those and how to deal with loneliness? Dr. John Braccio is with us. By the way, Doc, I said John and Doc at the same time. Doc, welcome, by the way, but do you get any new patients for therapy after the Lions game the other day?
Well, listen, that was a tough loss. You have to remember how far they've come from in the past, but they're on the right road, I think, and it's great to get this far. How does that sound?
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate to lose. So depends on how you want to look at things, but it was exciting, and hey, I'm ready for next year, and I'll still enjoy the Super Bowl.
There you go. Glass half full. Together. Let's go with that, huh?
Yes, I agree with you. Well, listen, let's
talk loneliness. Yeah.
Yes. It's maybe not that strange, but in a world with so much electronic contact and every imaginable streaming service available to a person, that really there are so many lonely adults. A computer just can't really take the place of a living person, friend. Well, obviously there are also many younger persons. Our focus here is on adults. And one reason many adults don't have friends is that they were involved very much with the friends of their children. Okay, so they were running around with parents for maybe a number of years of friends of their children. However, as the children become older and moved away, the friendships often retreated as everyone moved on to lead their own lives away from each other. And people that you might even think are really quite social just really don't see people. So the parent who may have been the center of even family relationships may no longer have much close contact with family as children leave home, often leave a long ways from where the family or the parents are, and develop their own families and friendships. And additionally, the relatively shy person who you talked about earlier, who does not feel comfortable developing friendships, may have never learned how to develop them. So, but regardless of the reason why friendships don't develop in adults, they are critical. Friendships are for human beings to feel good about themselves, from the vantage point of how others see them and then how they see themselves. The give and take of friendships can really warm the psyche of the individual. As the great Roman orator and philosopher Cicero referred to a friend as another you. Really, a true friend is someone you can share all your thoughts and feelings without being put down or criticized. And these following are some suggestions of what someone can do who feels lonely as an adult and really desires friendships. First, you have to make the choice of reaching out and determining to have a friendship with another person. Make yourself available. You've got to make yourself available. You can't just be thinking about it. You can call family and old friends to try to develop friendships in the now. You may have had some in the past and say, hey, maybe it's time to move back and talk to some people and get things going. You can join a club, a church group, or any other organization and become an active member. That you have a reason to meet and interact with others could lead to friendships. Now, you have to be able to take risks and share your feelings with a person or persons to develop a certain level of camaraderie and positive feelings about each other. You got to be a reliable person if you're going to be a friend. You can't just be somebody who's kind of here, there, and not gone and not around. No, they have to be able to count on you. You have to show the person you really care. You have to talk about think to them about things that are important to them. You got to let them know that they're important to you also. That's important, that a person knows there's a connection. And if you've not developed or lost the ability to care for another person, well, work on it. Repeat affirmations. You do care about others, and you're going to try to understand them and relate to them as a caring human being. But in order to do this, Mike, you do have to be willing to be vulnerable in a relationship and recognize there's potential for you can be hurt. And the potential of developing a friendship and being close with another person, the persons really make the risks vulnerable. Now, this can be very difficult for delicate and persons, and difficult for persons who've really had problems with relationships in the past or have not been comfortable entering into them. If so, hey, come on. It doesn't matter whether you have or you haven't or what's happened. This is the time to be working on this. And if you need to, you can seek out a trained therapist as you feel appropriate who knows about developing friendships to help you. As you attempt to enter into a new world, we'll call it, to develop friendships that can last the rest of your life. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can be young, you can be younger, but we'll talk about older, much older even. You've got to look forward to it, the voyage of new friendships. And it may be rocky and difficult, but hey, the rewards are remarkable. As being lonely, really, being lonely is very sad and bad for a person's physical and mental health. So, yeah, anyone listening or anyone we know, we encourage people, get out there, meet with people, talk to people, develop friendships. Don't be alone just watching, one TV series after another, just wondering what's going on, watching the world change around you while you're not part of what's happening. So now is the time to move forward. Let's do it, because a lot of adults are just sitting home and not doing much. And to me, hey, now is the hour of decision, as Billy Graham used to say long ago. So let's move forward and get things going.
I've always been in high school. I was voted two things: a class clown, surprise, and Mr. Outgoing. I was never part of any clique. I was part of every clique, right? But that's me, and I don't expect everybody to be like that. Nor are my kids. My kids are like, for the most part, exactly the opposite. But but as we've said though to them, and I've often said to them, you don't have to be everybody's pal. You don't have to be outgoing. Now, I have many, many friends. You are among them. But I said, you will have one or two friends in your life that you really, as you mentioned earlier, that you can really confide in, and they confide in you. And you're connected. You're like a brother. You're like a sister.
Yes.
But you can have tons of acquaintances whom you're friendly with and willing to go out for coffee or that kind of a thing. And I go to coffee with a lot of people. Coffee, lunch. I don't know. That's kind of my go-to. You can do a lot over food and drink, can't you?
Listen, there's no question. Major activity in our lives, of course, and a very enjoyable one. But you're right. You see, everything you've said is true, Mike. And I might say, a lot of times people may confuse acquaintances, with the enduring friendships. But if we even lower the definition a little bit and even call it some acquaintances friends, we need that too. We need to be around people. We need to interact with people. If we find a few really close people, another us, if we will, that even makes life even more enjoyable. But it's just a lot of people isolate themselves, and they really just are kind of living. That's all they're doing. They're not doing anything exciting. They're not looking to the future. And a lot of adults have this happen, particularly those when the kids grow up. I've really been surprised to see that when kids move or develop their own family, or the friendships that they had during the many years the kids were growing up, all of a sudden there they are alone and not quite sure what to do. It's not that people don't like them. They're just not making themselves available. So you do have to invite some people over, make some contacts, join groups. The good thing about joining a group, you're part of, you belong there. And when you meet with people, it's a natural thing. And usually if you're in a group, it's something you have an interest in. So people just have to really take some risks too. And a lot of people, Mike, are afraid to take risks. They think, well, what if the person doesn't like me? Or what if they tell me no? I say, rubbish, move forward. Work under the assumption people want to meet you, and realize there are a lot of people out there that are just feeling alone, and they want to meet you. They want to talk to you. They want to spend some time. You got to try to get that feeling. Even if you're shy, you have to work at, taking some risks. That's why I indicate you may need a counselor. You may need to be talking to some friends, some people. But life is out there, and it's a more exciting life. So regardless of how dull you've made it, now's the time to move forward. Adelante. Let's move forward. Have a fun life. Be with people.
Our good friend, Dr. John Braccio, Regional Psychological Services, every Tuesday with us here on your morning wake up. And Doc, my friend, we'll chat next week.
Listen, my friend Mike, same to you, buddy. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. 1320 WILS. Hang on.